we got the annual celebration coming up, and I just thought it would be a really good idea for us to kind of share a little bit about what's ahead, like what we can expect to experience there. And um, yeah, I'm very excited. I think it's going to be really nice. And it seems like I don't know the whole list of people, but it seems like there's folks showing up from different churches that maybe haven't been there lately, or folks that haven't been there before. And I think it's going to be a really good opportunity for folks to kind of get to know each other and, learn about what's going on and how they can contribute. And so I'm very excited about that. What do you think is most exciting to you about annual celebration this year generally?
Hmm. I feel like opportunity to be together in person and just the space. I'm really excited about what we have programmed, and I'm also always excited about what the conversations that get sparked in between the programmatic pieces, because I feel like, especially in this moment, it's like rewiring, right? How do we respond to what's happening in the world? And how do we take the gifts that we have, the communities that we have. Uh, it's like meeting our great gift with the world's great need. It just feels like uh, it's hard to do that alone, right? So I'm excited about people being able to come together. I'm excited about the resources that are going to be shared. We have really amazing people coming from the national setting, from Cameron Trimble, Tracy Howe, and just some of the workshops that people have put forward from within our own conference. It just feels very resource rich
Yeah.
in a time that we need to be able to respond, right? How do we as church respond faithfully in this moment that's so tumultuous and disturbing and destructive? What is the role of church, and how do we be uh, bearers of the kingdom, as we say,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know if that's what am I excited about generally. That's a
No, I
lot,
love
but
that.
I just it feels like a really important time to be um, resourcing each other and equipping each other,
Well,
getting
and it
ideas and inspiration from each other.
yeah, and it makes me think about how, like, really, in one way, like, I can't think of a better time to be connecting with each other and considering how we can be present in this world, as um, and also it feels like, man, right when you think things can't get worse, right? They just keep getting worse.
Hmm.
And in a
Right.
way, it's it's actually like now more than ever, if that's true, now more than ever, um, we have something to offer, like we have a voice that's needed
Yeah.
and lives together that are needed. And yeah, so that's really cool. Um, can you say something about Cameron and Tracy and just kind of introduce them a little bit? I don't know if everybody's familiar with their work.
Yeah. So Cameron's ordained in the United Church of Christ and started originally, it was called Center for Progressive Renewal. And the kind of tagline of that original creation was believing that, the best days are yet ahead for the progressive church. And that has morphed into what's now called Convergence, which is a multi-denominational, non-denominational resourcing of the progressive church, continuing to do that. So just a central hub for innovation, for theological conversation, for training. They do boundary training, they do anti-racism, they do a little bit of so many things, right? But really equipping the progressive church to be a voice in the world. And I recently experienced a gathering with Cameron through a non-church event, but she presented on um, the age of collapse, like the time that we are in. And it was one of those I've known, but she articulated in a way that was like, you know, um, so helpful to be able to see clearly. Like it's hard to respond strategically when we can't see clearly. And so I just feel like Cameron is a voice right now that can help us see clearly what we are in. Like, how did we get here in the United States? What's actually happening? So that we can be strategic in our response, both collectively and individually, right? Like, what is ours to actually do in this moment? What is the role of church? Um, that if we don't do, there's something significant being lost if we don't be who we are, right? And so she has um, some great, what would I say, kind of like, uh, I don't want to use the word bucket for kind of different ways that churches can engage this time of collapse, right? So very large picture, but then also super practical. Like, what does that mean for us living in this particular age, in this particular time?
And I find her stuff encouraging for that. Like, um, our congregation isn't strong in all four of those things, right? But we are
Right,
strong in we have our place, and there's certain
right.
kind of the contribution that we can make is tangible, and we are doing it. And so I just
Yeah.
found that really encouraging in that way. Um, yeah. What
And
about
Tracy Howe was
yeah.
our team lead for the Faith Info team at National, working with congregations and congregational care. And she has a very rich history in uh, I'd say more than community organizing, uh, like prophetic work within communities, right? And so, cultural organizing. She's been working on the Oak Flat resistance in Arizona, um, and so most recently, she was very involved in the resistance in or the in Charlotte, and at the
Mhm.
gathering of all the clergy in Charlotte in response to the white nationalist event, the just tragedy that happened in Charlotte. And uh, so I think of her as one of those frontline faith people, um, and who has created this this vision and working with congregation around mutual aid. Like, how do we actually show up for our neighbors in just really, really practical ways, like mutual aid, like bandaging wounds, right? Like, just in a really, like, what's needed on the local level, and how do we start resourcing ourselves and preparing ourselves as congregations. So I don't know that I'm explaining all of that very eloquently,
No,
but
that's great.
she's a frontline faith leader that I think melds the prophetic and the spiritual, right?
That's really
That
good.
they're not two distinct things. They are one. Like, to be spiritual is to be prophetic. To be prophetic is to be grounded spiritually. So
Yeah, that's really good. I have so many thoughts about that. That's so cool. Um, so what are you looking forward to most on Thursday? Because we got Thursday, like afternoon, evening, and then all day Friday, and then Saturday morning. So tell me what a highlight that you're anticipating for Thursday evening.
well, I'm super excited about Tamara Torres McGovern from Greeley leading worship on Thursday night. We have a mutual love of this concept of refugia, which she will be sharing and preaching on, that speaks to this whole theme that we're talking about. So I'm really excited about just gathering together and getting to worship and have communion together, and really grateful she's willing to lead in that way. And I'm also grateful to share a bit of what we've been up to as a board, and in this transition time and where we are in that transition, and some of the uh, some of the work. I'm just really excited to, like, lay out. Here's a bit of we've named one of the goals of the transition is getting really clear about who we are and what we're about, and that's coming into view. So I'm excited to share it. I'm excited to see, like, are we hitting the mark, or are we still off, right? But I'm excited to just be in that conversation with people.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. Um, Friday, there's workshops. That's one of the things that I'm really looking forward to, is just that kind of very practical resource sharing and conversations together and folks across the conference engaging in, you know, a lot of discussions around how do we live this thing practically and how can we help each other live this thing practically. So that's something I'm looking forward to on Friday. Friday evening, we're at Crossroads Church, our newest member of the Rocky Mountain Conference, and that's going to be so fun. And I just am excited that we're welcoming them by letting them welcome us. And we're gonna have food from a food truck and then go in and have some time of celebration and then opportunity to kind of check out their church and what they're up to and hear from them a little bit as we hear from others across the conference who um, represent different churches that are celebrating anniversaries, clergy that are celebrating different milestones in their ministry lives. And yeah, so it's going to be really nice. I think it's going to be a very nice evening. What do you got on for Friday that I
No,
didn't?
I think I think you've covered it all, and just I love that we get started off with Cameron as a kind of grounding for
Yeah.
the whole weekend or the whole next 36 hours. Uh, yeah, but just how that weaves through, yeah, and I'm just really excited about what people are bringing from our conference
Yeah.
and the workshops.
Um, Saturday, we got our business meeting. Very excited.
Got a business meeting, and you know, I think it is our this is us being conference together, right? We A budget doesn't come down from on high. It is all of us coming together and saying, "Hey, we're choosing this." And here are the choices, like be able to present, like here are the very real choices and realities in which we live. You know, it comes down to a really down to the sustaining um, sustaining this thing we call conference, right? This is all of us coming together. And so while we think of it as business and oh gosh, we got to get through it, I think it's really essential to our life together. And really grateful for all the work that Hunter has done over
Mhm.
this year in helping us continue to build a budget that is transparent, that speaks to what we're about, and it will continue to evolve. And I think for me, the biggest question or thing of importance around our business meeting is really like, you know, looking at the reality that we are continuing to have a deficit budget.
Mhm.
We have some big conversations ahead of us around uh, our resources and our forms of fundraising, our forms of collectively supporting this ministry that we're all in. And so, how do we strengthen our capacity for giving? You know, how do we get creative about giving? How do we start talking about giving more? I'm excited about um, changing the conversation, not just from what we don't have, but how do we recognize what we do have and how do we use it wisely, continue to steward the gifts that we do have in ways that are really life giving. So,
I was looking at the agenda for the annual meeting part of it, and I just kept coming back to, man, there's so much to be thankful for. That
mm,
we're making good progress. We're not obviously there yet. We're early relatively in this transition season. We're a third of the way in. We got two-thirds to go, and we're making progress, and it's just exciting to have the opportunity to reflect a little bit and go, oh man, yeah, like we're heading in a really good direction, and that is sustainable because it's based not in fear, uh, and not in scarcity, but in celebration and abundance and yeah, just the opportunity to marvel, I think,
mm,
at what the Holy One has been doing and how God's alive among us. It's just really, really, I'm just very thankful. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this whole gathering. I think it's gonna be really fun and uplifting. And I'm very thankful to get to be there.
yeah, same. I'm thankful for all the people who have put so much time and energy into making it possible this year. To your leadership as the moderator of the conference, and yeah, just the whole planning team, tech team, right? So many people's gifts are being shared and offered, and it's easy to take 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 that for granted, right? I love the word marvel. I just marvel at what people are willing to give.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like us.
Can't
I think we're
wait
good.
to I just can't wait to see everybody. That's gonna be
Yeah.
fun.
It
Yep.
is gonna be fun. It's gonna be great to catch up with folks and to meet new folks
Yep.
and hear their stories and, yeah, I'm just it's gonna be very, very cool. So, thank you very much for your time, and,
You too.
yeah, and yeah, see you at annual celebration.
See you in Loveland.
Woohoo.